What's up, everybody?
Yeah!
We are back with another episode of the Cryptid Files, the awesome podcast where we talk about cryptids, myths, and folklore from all around the world. We are your hosts, Anthony, and my bearded brother over there, Charlie. And today we're going to be covering our first international cryptid, the Bunyip.
Yes, the
But
Bunyip.
before we get into it, what's been going on, Charlie? What's going on with you?
Dude, I've been chilling. That's what I've been doing. Hanging out. I've got some time off work, so I'm just, like, relaxing. Yeah, I've been doing nothing, man. I've been doing straight up nothing. How about you, man? What have you been doing?
Dude, I am living it up after that beautiful Eagles Super Bowl victory on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. I know you're a Birds fan.
That was as a football fan, a god-awful Super Bowl because it was
terrible football game.
It was
terrible.
It was just a terrible football game. It was a one-sided slaughter.
It was so boring.
As the Eagles fan, holy crap.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
Everything was amazing. Everything about it was awesome. Watching the Chiefs get fucking their booty holes stretched out by the Eagles was the best thing I could have seen.
I hate the Chiefs so much.
I was rooting for the Cowboys and for the fucking Commanders when they were playing the Chiefs throughout my entire life.
I never thought I would root for the Eagles in a football game my entire life. Just because I'm still mad at them for having Michael Vick on their team.
Listen, you root for the Raiders. They're like the prison football team of the NFL.
Yeah, but they're not the Philadelphia Dog Killers. It's pretty much a whole new staff from the Michael Vick days. So I can support them to beat the Chiefs.
All right, man. Yeah, now that we're on a high, let's get into this, man. Let's talk about the Bunyip.
The Bunyip. This is a wild one.
So, this is a wild one. We are going all the way to the land down under.
Yep. Australia.
Crikey. Yeah, so the Bunyip has been around since, like, prehistory. This is like a native Aboriginal cryptid that the natives have been talking about forever. Yeah. And there's, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 different descriptions of what the Bunyip is.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I started writing down how many different descriptions I could find, but I stopped because it was never ending. There are a lot.
Yeah, here's what the ones I got. I've got a giant man-eating starfish.
Yes.
I've got a bearded snake.
Mm-hmm.
We have a crocodile-like body covered in eyes. So eyes all over his body. With flippers, a horse tail, serrated beak, and walrus tusks.
Yep.
Which I believe is the art that we're using in the background.
Yep.
We have a dark furry body with a crocodile's head, but a dog's face, with a duck bill and crocodile legs. And its front legs are longer than back legs.
Yeah.
Like a frog. I have a giant emu with claws.
Yes.
And the last one I found was a humanoid cyclops with feathers, fur, and a large mouth across its stomach.
Yeah.
Which, if you follow us on Instagram, we also posted that one and the man-eating starfish.
Yeah. So originally, a lot of like the Aboriginal idea behind the Bunyip was that humanoid-looking one, and it was more of like a spirit of the forest type deal. That's what they originally. That's where like the word came from. But then they started associating Bunyip with like almost this like amphibian-like creature that could be multiple creatures. It could just be anything that came out of the water. Pretty much that they didn't know what it was the term Bunyip. But there's a lot of weird designs for it, and some of what they think for where it came from originally was this before Australia was developed as it is today. The rivers, right? There were these really wide accesses from the ocean, so they think a lot of ocean life was able to swim up into like mainland Australia. So they'd get, a random small shark or small whale or
or sea turtle or something. Like you said, manatee.
And you're just chilling by the river and you see one of those pop up one day and you're like, holy crap, what the fuck is that? Why is there a whale? And you have to understand at this point, people that, lived in the center of Australia, far enough away from the ocean, have never heard of a whale before. Because, you'd be lucky if you lived by the ocean to see a whale in your lifetime.
Right.
So that's a lot of what I've read is the Bunyip itself. Maybe the idea came from that. But there's also these very bizarre descriptions of it. where it's
like covered in eyes.
Covered in eyes, and it has fur and
or like a giant emu with claws. Like that's not coming out of the water.
That's not an ocean animal. So it's kind of hard for that description to fit it perfectly. Right. But that is one of the main ideas behind the Bunyip that they think is where it came from. But
right, and it almost makes you think that maybe it's not a Bunyip. Is like it's not a singular thing. It's not. There's not the Bunyip. It's like
a descriptive
Bunyip
word.
Is like a it's like a catch-all term for like weird Australian demons, like the way that like Japan has the Oni, and you have like the what's the other word? Yokai, which is another name for like Japanese monsters, stuff like that. So maybe the Bunyip is the Aboriginal word for monster or demon, and it covers multiple. So like all of these things might not be different versions of the Bunyip. They might all be Bunyips. Yeah. And you have the starfish Bunyip, and you have the emu Bunyip, and you have the snake Bunyip. Yeah. And they all might come from different reasons and things. So it's like Bunyip just could be another word for cryptid.
Yeah, no, in a sense. And what they were, a lot of people were discussing is, so I've noticed this, it's kind of stupid, but people are very touchy about what they'll call a cryptid sometimes. And they're like, oh, that's more of a, that's more of a specter or ghost than a cryptid. And
that's a demon and an alien. It's
I was like, straight up, all right, listen, it's a cryptid because we don't know what it is. And if you have scientific proof that it's a demon, good on you, buddy.
Right.
Nobody does, because half these things we don't know if they really exist. That's the joy of it being a cryptid, But a lot of people are considering the Bunyip to maybe not even be, in that category. They think it's just a misidentifying multiple things. So it's like just a category of, I don't know, like kind of like how we use the term UFO,
right?
And we associate that to aliens, even though it's just it pretty much is anything in the fly that we don't know about. So here's the problem with the sightings of this thing too. None of them are very well documented. Most of the newspaper articles I saw about Bunyip sightings have always been very vague about like what they saw, and they were super short. But what I did find is they apparently found a Bunyip skull, and it was not a Bunyip skull at all. But it was it looked like a Cyclops skull. So I understand. They said it was a disfigured prehistoric creature skull that they found.
Okay.
But for the newspaper published it as a Bunyip skull, saying they found a Bunyip skull, which is where the Cyclops, I think, version of the Bunyip came from.
Right.
That's pretty crazy, though.
So, you know what? I'm treating this entire cryptid as this literally just feels like it is another word for cryptid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, 100%.
I feel like a Bunyip has just become, I feel like, just based off of everything, based on what we're looking at, and, we really haven't gone too deep into it yet, and it's already just screaming like, this is just the Australian cryptids.
Yeah, but the only difference is that it behaves pretty much the same with every.
But so does all of Australian wildlife. Yeah, it all just wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah. I mean, like Australia is home for a lot of things that were considered cryptids too, because they have, they have these things there that are weird, right? Like the duck-billed platypus, right? That was a cryptid. People heard stories. Yeah, no, people heard stories about the duck-billed platypus and was like, wait a minute, you're saying there's a mammal with a duck's bill that lays eggs and is venomous and has the tail of a beaver.
And it's venomous from its feet.
And it's venomous from its feet, yeah.
Just from its feet.
People were like, that's not fucking real. There's no fucking way. And so it was considered a cryptid for a long fucking time until people were like, holy shit, Fred's not lying. Fred told the fucking truth. This thing's real.
So who's to say that the weird Bunyip with the flippers and all that is not just the platypus from back in the day?
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? Or emu, the giant emu with claws. Maybe it was just a fucking emu that they saw back in the day. They're like, oh my god, it's Bunyip.
I was gonna make that comment. Emus are fucking big anyway. So what's a giant emu?
One twice the size. I know they already have claws too on their feet. Like, is this? There's no pictures of it, but I'm expecting maybe an emu with fucking T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
To make it different.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, you want to break down some of the individual versions of the Bunyip, talk about their descriptions, and then we can kind of dive into them.
So here, let's do. So here's some details that are like that across the board. First, they all tend to lurk in swamps and rivers. So it doesn't matter what the description is, where they come from, what they look like. They all seem to live in the swamps and the rivers of Australia.
Yeah.
They favor women and children, but they will attack any humans or livestock that they can catch.
Yeah.
The only things that will vary in their diet and attacking people is that sometimes the bunyip is described as bloodthirsty and it just kills everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is described as a vengeful spirit that only attacks bad people.
Yeah.
But again, that is pretty much 50-50 across the entire board of bunyips. Bunyips.
Yeah.
Bunions.
Buns.
Multiple bunyips are called buns.
So it is, no matter the description, it is known to be like an aggressive cryptid. It's known to attack.
Right. Either it's aggressive to everybody or it's aggressive to people that deserve it, but it's still going to eat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah. Or kids, which, they deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's break down. How do you want to do this, Charlie? You want to see each one like it's a different cryptid, and we'll see what you think of it and if you can fightable?
Yeah, let's talk about the first one that I read about. Not the first one I read about, but the oldest one first. The humanoid version of it. This is it was a legend pretty much from the natives of the area, and they considered it more of a spirit than like an animal or anything. And it was like described as like a humanoid with like a reptile head and like large eyes, and it would just kind of come out in the middle of the night and attack people at the river. So that's entire description I saw on that thing. Not super written down either,
right?
Because it wasn't like it was more in that storytelling era. So kind of like Vikings, how they didn't have like their written religion.
Had the sagas and all that.
Yeah, and most of it was, just passed down through like poems and stories, and that's kind of the same thing with like a lot of the original Australian natives was poems and stories. And they had some like, recorded, like written down through like drawings and like eventually through language and stuff, but the original stories of this have predated that. So
Right.
Business.
Now, did you mention the stomach mouth?
No. I did not.
Okay, yeah, so that Cyclops version apparently has a big mouth across its stomach. Almost like Mike Wazowski. So, do you think you could fight the stomach mouth Cyclops bunyip?
Yeah, I'd punch him in the head.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I might be able to fight him too. He's got one big eye. You just punch him right in the eye. And
punch him in the eye and he's done. He can't see nothing. Pocket seeing.
All right. Now, how do you feel about the possible bunyip version that is the giant emu with claws?
Okay. Don't emus have claws? Like that's not.
Yeah, they got talons. They got like bird claws.
And emus are already giant. Are you just talking about a bigger emu?
I guess so. How big is an emu?
Emus are pretty fucking big, dude. They're big.
I mean, are they bigger or smaller than an ostrich?
Bigger? This is when I wish Ken was here because he's got emus. They're
Is
pretty
really?
fucking big, yeah, dude.
He owns emus. Okay, they're 82. The males are 82 pounds.
How tall?
Oh shit! No, they can weigh up to 132 pounds. The average emu is 82.
Yeah, they're birds, so they got like hollow bones and shit, dude.
Okay, so yeah, the average male weight is 82 pounds at the max.
Yeah.
They can get bigger, but that's about the average size. The average male height is 58 inches.
That's about like my height.
That's almost 5 feet tall.
No, wait, that's not my height. That's way shorter than me, but still 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know?
They're almost 5 feet tall. So they're 5 feet tall and about 80 pounds.
Yeah.
They're not that big. That's not a very scary bird.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I don't know. I could fight a
bird. So I'm thinking a giant emu is maybe 6 feet tall and 100 something pounds. Like.
Yeah.
And if it's already got claws, like are we talking like it has more claws or is it on its feet? Like we're just counting its own claws as claws.
Here's the thing about fighting a bird, dude. They got hollow bones, man. I just snap its legs.
Yeah, but they're fast. Emus are quick, dude. They run really fucking fast.
Well, if it's running away, then I mean I already won.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What about? All right, this one's tough to picture. All right, the dark furry body.
Okay.
Crocodile's head.
Yep.
With a dog's face. I'm not really sure how that works. A duck bill.
Yep.
And crocodile legs where the front are longer than the back, like a frog.
That's not my grandfather's got one of those. That's not even a cryptid, dude. No, I'm just kidding. No. Wait, go through it again. Crocodile head with a duck bill.
It's got a big dark furry body. So this one,
it's like a bear.
honestly sounds kind of like a bear with a body, like a body of a bear.
Body of a bear.
It's got a crocodile head, so like a long head.
Yeah.
But with a dog's face somehow.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's probably got like the dog eyes, but a crocodile snout.
Does he have the bite force of a crocodile or the bite force of a dog?
I don't know because it has a duck bill.
Shit. What? Wait, hold on. Wait, how does it...
I didn't write this, man. I just copied it.
This description's insane. All right, so it's got a duck bill. So, all
right. Duck bill.
The strength
and it's got
having
frog-sized crocodile legs.
Okay. All right. Yes, I could fight this 100% because it took the main strength of having from a crocodile and a dog, which is strong bite force, and it just put it into a duck bill, which is pretty lame.
Yeah, but
so it's got no teeth. It's got no
squish force.
I don't care. It's got no
squish
teeth.
Force.
It's got no teeth, dude. I'm not gonna let something fight me with no teeth. If you were walking outside the 7-Eleven right now, and some guy without teeth walk up to you and wanted to kick your ass, do you think you'd take him?
Yeah, I could take him.
Yeah, because he doesn't have teeth.
But he doesn't have the bite force of a crocodile.
You're right. All right, there's a crocodile with no teeth. Could you take it?
It's really not the teeth that are going to do the damage. It's the bite force. It's crushing, dude.
Okay.
Even without the teeth there, you're still going to get... Like, have you ever seen a hydraulic press?
Yeah.
There's no teeth on a hydraulic press. I think it squeezed through fucking anything.
Yeah, okay. I think you're just not confident. But, yeah, no,
I think I'm just a little more realistic than you.
It's got a duck... Dude, how much can a duck bill withstand in, like, pressure?
I don't know. It hurts when they bite you.
I guarantee that duck bill would break if it's doing, like, crocodile strength biting down.
Well, who's to say that it's not like, okay, the duck bill, right? But who's to say, it says it has a crocodile head, so maybe it has the scales and the muscles around the bill from the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, first of all, it's okay if it hurts. I'm talking about, will it kill me?
Probably. If it's got a bear's body and, like, legs like a frog, but are muscular and scaled like a
all right, is it low to the ground? Is it low to the ground?
We're assuming bear body, then no. Bears aren't that low to the ground. They're bear-like.
Does it have claws?
Frogs it does not have claws. No, it has crocodile legs, but they're the size difference of a frog. No, wait, that doesn't make because the back legs of a frog are long.
Yeah.
It's okay like a gorilla because the front legs are longer than the back. Like think gorilla.
Gorilla.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a gorilla with a duck bill.
It's a gorilla with a duck bill, scaly legs, and I don't know, a face that looks like a dog.
Dude, honestly. I'm not.
This thing sounds like something like an X-Men reject.
I'm not gonna let something with a duck bill kick my ass, dude. There's no way in hell. I'm gonna take it. There's no way in hell, dude. With the duck bill, dude, imagine getting your ass kicked by Donald Duck. You're out of your mind, man. No way. I could beat this thing. I could 100% take this thing. One swift.
All right, how about? All right, here's the one. This is the one that we're using as our art. Ready?
Yeah.
Crocodile body.
Yep.
Covered with eyes.
Yep.
So it can see everywhere. Flippers, a horse-like tail, a serrated beak. So it's just got like a saw beak.
Saw beak.
And walrus tusks.
Yep.
So clearly you're going to fight this one in the river.
Nah, dude, stay on land. I win.
It's not coming to you on land. That doesn't count.
Exactly. It's scary.
Yeah, you could get away. But that's the thing. It's not about if you can get away. It's if you can fight it. So you got to go to that one. You got to go to it.
I would stand outside the river. It would be swimming in the river. I'd see it. I'd jump on its back. Once I'm on its back, it's got... You ever been poked in the eye?
It's true. So this is the one time I would agree with you, and I have to fight this one.
Yeah.
As long as you get on its back, you just keep poking.
You just keep poking all them eyes, dude. There's no way. That's a horrible defense mechanism.
Horrible way to go, too.
Yeah.
Death by eye poke.
Death by eye pokes, man. Just getting poked in the eye until you're dead. No, and you got to think, if it's all those eyes are working, they all have to be like connected to the brain somehow, So.
Oh yeah, so that hurts. That hurts a lot. All right, critical hit.
All
right, this one's pretty simple. A bearded snake.
Yeah, I could fight a snake with a beard.
Yeah, I could fight a snake with a beard too. I've fought a lot of snakes.
Yeah,
it doesn't even say it's a giant snake or it's any kind of. It literally just says bearded snake.
Bearded snake, 100%. Yeah, I could fight a bearded snake.
I'm thinking like a okay.
Didn't even say venomous.
Right. But I'm thinking, okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of my own like headcanon here. We're facts optional, we're talking about cryptids, but all right, if it's a bearded snake that's scary enough to be a cryptid, I'm assuming it's pretty big. Like I'm thinking at least python-sized. Right? It's definitely not like a garden snake with a beard.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Copperhead.
You don't have to be scary to be a cryptid. I mean, look at the squonk, man. I got the squonk on right now. Not scary at all.
Yeah,
Still a cryptid.
Go check out our merch.
Yeah.
But, it's still, like, that thing is, it's still, I don't know, man. I feel like if it was a bearded snake that was big and scary enough for the natives of Australia, where everything is bigger,
yeah,
they have spiders that eat birds, dude. So they probably, if it's a fucking,
all right, let's assume it's a big ass snake with a beard.
Yeah, let's say it's python sized at least. Python sized snake with a beard.
Yeah.
Can you fight that?
Is my beard bigger?
Probably. You're bigger than a python.
I feel like its beard would be a disadvantage because it's something else you can like hold on to kind of control it better.
That's true. Know? I think I could fight this one too, actually.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I feel like I could definitely take a python. The trick was just not to get yourself like wrapped up by it. But even if I was getting wrapped up by it, I'd find a way to kill it.
Pull on the beard.
Yeah, just pull on the beard. Pull on that beard.
It might not even attack you because it might think you're one of them.
Yeah, it might just think I'm one of them. You know, like, oh, another bearded python right there. Well.
All right, and then the last version of the Bunyip that I have, a giant man-eating starfish.
Okay, I saw this one too. And you know what I immediately thought of? Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, the alien.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of. But in reality, they do have giant starfish. That's a real thing.
But are they? How big is a giant starfish?
Pretty big. Like, hold on, let me.
The size of a beach ball, or are we talking like the size of a whale?
Giant starfish. They're pretty big, dude.
Is it anything like a chocolate starfish?
Largest species of sea star. They measure over 3 feet across.
Okay, 3 feet across.
Yeah.
That's still not that big.
Dude, that's like, you gotta think they're circles, so it's like 3 feet, 3 feet, you know, it's just a 3 foot circle of starfish.
It's still not big enough to be scary.
Let me look
it's big enough to be like, holy shit, that's cool, but not big enough to be scary. Because I don't know, man, it's not like if you told me it was the size of like a giant squid, then yeah, that's a terrifying starfish.
Yeah.
If it's just 3 feet from tip to tip, like it's not 3 foot arms, it's the arm from end to end. It's 3 feet, so that means the arms are only like 1.5 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I could fight a 3 foot starfish.
I could fight a 3 foot starfish too, and that's the thing with the bunyip. I'm pretty sure most of these animals are just sea creatures that kind of like washed inland from the rivers. So
yeah, because I mean, the giant starfish, the man-eating starfish, just sounds like somebody saw a big ass starfish and freaked out. The bearded snake sounds like somebody saw a snake that had like seaweed on it and freaked out. Yeah. The crocodile covered with eyes, flippers, a tail, and beak and shit sounds like somebody was on a peyote trip. The dark furry body one with somehow a crocodile's head, a dog's face, and a duckbill. That doesn't even make physical sense. I don't know how you'll put that together.
Yeah.
Like, I want to ask chat, like fucking Copilot to draw that for me and figure it out. A giant emu with claws sounds like they saw a giant emu and freaked out. A humanoid cyclops with feathers, fur, and a large mouth across his stomach sounds like another peyote trip.
Yeah.
Most of this sounds like people were doing fucking ashwagandha and peyote and mixing it with their fucking... What's the other one? The fucking thing that they smoke? The bark?
I don't know.
But yeah, sounds like they were just seeing shit. It doesn't really. I don't know. This is one of the few that I'm like straight up like, nah, this didn't really exist.
Well, that's the problem too. I mean, like, so there are extinct animals in Australia that Aboriginal Australians actually lived with.
Right? Didn't the dodo bird live in Australia?
Like there's a lot of
and the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of creatures there that did exist that we're not entirely sure what they looked like, you know, today, because all we have is like, you know, like drawings of them, but we found skeletons and I don't know. And if a lot of these stories are based off of that, because this is a pretty ancient type of cryptid.
True.
So if a lot of these stories are based off of that, like, sense, it's kind of hard to completely discredit it, but it's also hard to give credit to any of it because it's all different. It's all so different.
Right.
It's like there's not like one bunyip again. You know, I can't just say like this is what I can't give anybody a clear description of a bunyip because It's anything that you think came out of a river in Australia that you didn't know what it was, because that's pretty much what everyone's considering a bunyip.
So it's like I said, it's like if you have to almost treat this like a classification of cryptid, not a cryptid. There's no bunyip. A bunyip is Australian river monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any Australian monster that comes out of the water can be a bunyip, and there might be different kinds of bunyip that we just haven't classified yet because we just went, oh, bunyip.
Yeah.
But like you could have again, I'll use yokai as an example. Yokai are Japanese demons, but there are multiple yokai that have names. Like there's a yokai that's literally like a living umbrella. There's a yokai that's like a woman with a snake neck. There's a yokai that's like this duck monster. Like there's different yokai, and they all have names, and I can't remember any of them. But we are going to cover all of them because there's so many. But like that's just the thing. It's like bunyip just feels like a less fleshed out version, where it's like we have all these different river demons or river monsters or whatever you want to call them. We just haven't named them yet. Because maybe they haven't seen the same one more than once. And that might be why they just call them all bunyip.
Yeah.
So, makes you wonder.
But anyways.
Let's break out the math duck.
Oh, God. The math duck.
But we've got to set some parameters here.
Yes.
How are we rating this? Are we rating this as a cryptid? And if so, which version are we using? Or are we going to rate this as a classification like I said with yokai? We're
going to rate this as... Alright, so I would say we have to look at it as like a big picture.
So bunyip is a cryptid classification, not a cryptid.
Yeah. That being said, that I feel like that's going to affect the score negatively. But there's no way I could possibly just... We could rate each of these individually, and we'd be here for an hour. Let's do an overall classification. Let's do that.
Overall classification. Okay, let's do that.
All right. So,
realism classification.
How real is this, AJ?
Looking at it as a classification, as like a genus, right? That's the word, genus a genus of cryptids. It's almost like a family of cryptids if we go into the cryptid zoology of it all, cryptozoology. I want to, on a scientific level, think it's real and high up there, just because it's just like adds a level to the crypto science.
Yeah.
But it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard to think it's real. I'm such a firm believer in cryptids, and I want them all to be real so bad. But this one is just really, really tough to believe in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's also merit that it's Aboriginal. It's been around. The natives talked about it so much and so often that it continued on through culture and continued on enough that we got a suggestion to do this one. You know what I mean? Like it's got enough merit that it's got some lifeblood to it. So I think to fight my conflicting emotions, I'm just going to come straight down the middle and give it a 2.5.
Okay. 2.5. My pen doesn't work. 5 seconds! I'm going to use a pencil. Alright, 2.5. 2.5 from AJ. Alright, now, I am going to say this. The descriptions are... Some of them are absolutely wild. Some of them are almost kind of realistic. In my view, I feel like the bunyip is not actually a bunyip. I feel like most of them are just ocean life that has came up through Australia's rivers. In the sense that people have actually seen things, yes. I guarantee people have seen things that they did not understand at the time because they were creatures that nobody knew about. They've never seen ocean life like that just, come up through the river. But I don't think it's these man-eating creatures that they actually are claiming them to be. So there is validity in their shock and their having no idea what they're looking at, but I feel like it's explained pretty easily through natural processes. If we talk about the original, Aboriginal claims, there's a lot of creatures that lived in Australia that we don't really know much about because they were there before really much of recorded history. So it's hard to, it's hard to really say that this isn't real, but it's really hard to say that it's not easily explained. So as a cryptid, I don't think that we're seeing cryptids here. I think we're seeing actual already known animals. I don't think we're seeing something new. I think that we already know about these animals, and at the time they were seen, they were unknown. So they're not really cryptids anymore in my sense.
Which makes them realistic.
Which makes them realistic. But it's also not really a fucking cryptid then. So
I mean, neither was. But again, it's not about how much of a cryptid it is. It's how likely is it to exist.
Well, that's the problem.
We gave the Blue Devil a 5 out of 5 because it's a goddamn wolf.
I know, but that's the problem. The descriptions of them are so bizarre. I don't think that they actually saw a alligator or crocodile that was covered in eyeballs. I think they saw a crocodile and
that might have been sick and had sores.
Or exactly. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this is not super real. So I'm gonna give this a 1.5. I'm gonna
1.5.
Yeah, okay. Because they didn't see the cryptids they're claiming to see. I do not think they actually saw the cryptids they're claiming to see. I think that they just saw weird things coming out of the river, which makes sense, which is why there's so many crazy descriptions, because there's a lot of different creatures that could have come up from the river. So I'm gonna give this a 1.5 because, sure, there's a chance that there was actually some wild one-off mutated creature that came up with a few of these stories, but I think the majority of them is just pure misidentification. 1.5. All right, next category.
Next category is how cool the damn thing is.
Okay, this is another difficult one because some of them are cool, some of them are pretty lame.
So you got to think of them all together.
All of them together. I'm gonna talk. The spirit of the Bunyip is pretty cool. A river creature that attacks children. It can come in many forms. So
let's take all of the most. Why can't I think of this word right now?
Because you got a bad brain.
I do. I'm tired as shit. The fucking. Wow.
Triangle.
Thinking is hard. Triangle. The traits that are most common. There it is across all the descriptions. Let's call it. It's going to be crocodile-like. It's got a crocodile body. It's constantly crocodile, right? So it's got a. Let's make it a crocodile.
Yeah.
With a beak.
Yeah. Some type of
multiple descriptions have a beak.
Yeah.
Build face with big ass teeth because it's either man-eating. It's got tusks. It's got serrations. It's got all this stuff. So we got a crocodile with a duck bill that's got big ass teeth, claws. A lot of the descriptions have fur and a lot of the descriptions have feathers. So I'm thinking it's got both.
Okay.
So we got a crocodile with feathers, fur, a duck bill, and big teeth.
It's like a big platypus.
Kinda, yeah. So if you think about it that way, it's not super cool.
No, it's not super cool. Let's give it a. I'm gonna give it a 2.
I'm gonna give it a 2.2, just for the sake of it's big, it's scary, possibly.
Just for the sake of not pissing off all the Australians. All right,
now
category.
How unique is this thing?
The problem is it's not unique. It's many things. Hasn't really been narrowed down to one idea. And if it is.
Narrowed down to our idea, it's a platypus.
It's a large platypus. So let's. You know what? It's not something as common as just a werewolf. It is kind of it's maybe having not a clear description is kind of a unique trait to it too.
Right.
So I'm gonna give it a 3 because it's not terribly ununique. The Blue Devil or. Like a Rougarou, or it's kind of just a werewolf. Right. So, what did I say, 3?
You said 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.
I'm going to be a lot more critical than you, and I'm going to give it a 1.2.
Damn.
It's either, if it boils down to the...
Look out, Australia, AJ's coming.
Listen, if we boil it down to the common traits we gave it, it's just a big, scary platypus. And if we don't boil it down and take all of it into account, most of the time, it is just a messed up version of an animal that exists. You have a giant starfish. You have a snake, a bearded snake, which is probably just a snake with algae on it. You've got a crocodile with eyes all over it. It's probably just a crocodile with sores. A giant emu. Okay, it's an emu that weighs 10 more pounds. It's nothing special. So Yeah, I'm gonna give it a one. What did I say? 1.2.
Yeah, 1.2.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
All right, Math Duck.
Math Duck is ready.
Math Duck time. All right, let me get through that.
Math Duck is ready.
I'm gonna get the math calculator because it's better than the duck sometimes. All right, we got a 2.5 plus a 1.5 plus a 2.2 plus a 2.0 plus a 1.2 plus 3.0. All right, and what did the duck calculate?
The duck calculated.
Perfect. Yep, 12.4 is correct. So that is a terrible rating for a cryptid.
That is abysmal. That is our lowest one of the year.
I feel bad for that, but it's hard to give credit to something that's not really giving a clear description of itself.
This is true. This is true.
The Bunyip's rough. I mean, we're going to cover the Bunyip anyways, but it's so just not. It's not one thing.
It's a tough one to cover, but it's also like I don't know. There's not much to it, and what is to it doesn't really correlate. So
here's the thing. I love researching these things anyways, because now, like, when I go into like the cryptid, Reddit page, and people start saying that's not what a Bunyip is, this is what a Bunyip is, or this is what a Bunyip is. But actually, the Bunyip's all those fucking things.
Come join our Discord if you're not already here. We have a good time. We share pictures of sexy Mothman and talk about cryptids, and we do giveaways, and we let you guys do requests and all that other cool stuff. Sometimes Charlie and I hang out in another chat. We have a chill chat where we will talk together with whoever else is on and just talk about cryptids and bullshit. He was playing World of Warcraft while I was working on schedule one night. We're hanging out with our buddy Ken.
Yeah,
talking about dumb shit.
That's what we do.
So, yeah, join our Discord. We share memes. We talk about dumb stuff. We talk about there was a cryptid card game that we were sharing. Yeah, we have a Design by Human store. I post every time we add more merch to it in our Discord, because for some reason Instagram doesn't like the link and Facebook's annoying. I'm working on that, trying to get that a little bit more out there so everyone can see it. But we do have merch. Yeah, it's all cool. Go grab some shirts. We have the logo. We have the skull logo that we use for Halloween. We have the Squonk shirt. We have the Jersey Devil up. And we have Mothman right now. The next one that's going to drop, I believe, is the Grafted Monster. So that should go up. I'm going to upload it tonight, which means it should go live tomorrow.
Yeah.
So definitely check all that out. It's really, really cool.
Yeah,
and
we got
if you're not,
hoodies, tank tops, baseball tees, all of them.
Yeah, man.
So
kids sizes, women's sizes, all of that cool stuff. And definitely go follow us on Instagram. Find us on Facebook. It's DNR Paranormal all across the board. You can find us everywhere.
Reddit.
Even our Designs by Human store, DNR Paranormal. Do we have a Reddit account?
We have a Reddit account and a page, and I fight with people in the cryptid and cryptozoology pages on Reddit. So
hell yeah! So if you find us on Reddit,
if you want to back me up in an argument when I start yelling at people because they're not calling the Jersey Devil a cryptid, check it out.
But
because he is a
definitely
cryptid.
Check us out everywhere. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Give us a shout. Join us in the Discord. Have a good time. Have a good night. Go buy our merch.
See you guys.